This is always a very special day for us here on SLATER. It's our 25th year here in Albany. And today we honor all of those who wrote a check to the United States for an amount up to including their lives. And this ship that you're looking at, and the whaleboat, which are fully restored, probably as nice as the day that it was built, are beautiful. The thing about these ships is that they represent people who went to sea to defend our country. And although ships are beautiful in the harbors where they sit, what's most important are the sailors who man those ships. John McDonald's arriving from Cohoes this morning. Nice to see him here. He's filling for Pat Fay. He's late. Yeah, of course. No, that's all right. But in any event, it's a solemn moment for us. And those who served in these ships freely as volunteers in World War II and thereafter, and including today, where we have sailors, soldiers, airmen, Coast Guardsmen around the world defending our freedom. Today is a day when we honor them all, but particularly the DE sailors and those ships and men who were lost serving on these ships. So with that, I would like to call for the presentation of the colors by the St. Pius X Boy Scout Group 1099, 1070. Thank you. And today we are privileged once again to have our national anthem sung by the Pitch Hitters Quartet of the Racing City Chorus in Saratoga Springs.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare of us bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you.
Now, Destroyer Escort.
Good morning, friends and shipmates, and welcome to the 32nd annual celebration of DE Day aboard the USS SLATER. During the Second World War, the United States Navy constructed 563 small and lightly armored ships and tasked them with escorting convoys, hunting down enemy submarines, and protecting the Navy's refueling and resupply groups. Known as Destroyer Escorts, they were manned by the youngest sailors in the Navy could offer and commanded by reservist officers. The most infamous of the Destroyer Escorts is the USS Samuel B. Roberts, which sank in action off Samar during the Battle of Leyte Gulf. Although dozens of men were killed in action, the Sammy B went into battle alongside the larger fleet destroyers and was able to score numerous hits on the enemy ships over the course of 2 hours, despite being massively outgunned. Today, she is remembered in history as the Destroyer Escort that fought like a battleship. Although it is most well known, the Samuel B. Roberts is by no means the only destroyer escort that performed incredible feats in wartime. USS England sank 6 Japanese submarines over a 12-day period in May of 1944. USS Tabor rescued dozens of survivors of Hull, Spence, and the Monaghan during the devastating typhoon off the Philippines in December of 1944. The USS Frederick C. Davis and the USS Herbert C. Jones are remembered for expertly utilizing advanced electronic equipment to divert Nazi glide bombs during the battle for Anzio in Italy. After the war, thousands of sailors that served aboard destroyer escorts put the war behind them and returned to their civilian lives. Their ships went into mothballs, and although some were recommissioned to assist in both the Korean and Vietnamese wars, most destroyers were quickly sold for scrap and forgotten. In 1975, the U.S. Navy redesignated the last destroyer escorts as frigates, and the DE disappeared from naval inventory. As the sailors reached retirement, they began to look back over their years of naval service and realized the contributions of destroyer escorts were being lost to history. Resolved to change this unfortunate fact, the veterans of the Destroyer Escort Sailors Association, DESA, banded together and saved USS SLATER as a monument to their service. Next, they declared that the third Saturday of every June would be designated Destroyer Escort Day to commemorate their service, to be celebrated by the then 30 DESA chapters around the country. Sadly, only the Michigan chapter and the SLATER exists as of this time. Today, most of the veterans are gone, but we continue to honor their legacy by celebrating their heroism and paying homage to destroyer escort sailors killed in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and the Cold War years. We thank all veterans of destroyer escorts for their valiant service and dedication to American freedom, and celebrate their lives as true heroes of the United States. We endeavor to remember the incredible achievements of these trim but deadly ships, and to honor the crucial role they played in history's greatest war.
That's quite a story. Thank you, Steve. We're now going to welcome back for a memorial tribute with a bell-ringing carnations. We're going to welcome back the Armed Forces Melody, the Pitch Hitters Quartet from Saratoga Springs.
From the rising of the sun till the battle's fought and won, we will fight for the right and defend our country. We're always ready for the call. We place our trust in thee. Through surf and storm and howling gale, high shall our purpose be. Semper Paratus is our guide, our pledge, our motto too. We're always ready to or die. I Coast Guard, we fight for you. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First to fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marine. Da-da-da-da-da. Anchors aweigh, my boys, anchors aweigh. Farewell to college joys, we sail at break of day. Through our last night on shore, drink to the foam. Until we meet once more, here's wishing you a happy voyage home. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along, rolls along, proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the army goes rolling along. Then it's hi, hi, hey, the army's on its way. Count up the cadence loud and strong, for where we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along, along. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here they come, swooping to meet our thunder. Attaboys, give it the gun. Down we dive, fighting our flame from under. Off with one hell of a roar. We live in fame or go down in flames. Ain't nothing to stop the U.S. Air Force. And those are the great armed forces of America. They serve America at home or overseas. They serve America.
Unfortunately, we appreciate it. We're now going to hear from our dignitaries. The first will be our county executive, Dan McCoy.
Thank you, sir. And I do want to say to everyone, today is a day to reflect on armed forces, but I do want to say to Governor Pataki in 1998 that started this tradition over, I think, what, 24 years ago, for recognizing the USS SLATER. But a lot of people don't realize this, and I said this earlier, the Patriot flight got off for the first time in 2 years since COVID, but we are honoring World War II vets, Korea, Vietnam, and I'd like to remind everyone that less than 1% dons that military uniform. 1% of our population, which we have over 331 million Americans in this country. They're the foundation so we can enjoy the freedoms that we enjoy every day. So hats off to everyone that has served and everyone that helps out. And I look around here and actually a big smile on my face when I saw PJ, well, not came up, and he introduced me to his daughter. You see the history with the families and how it just goes into the roots of a family corps to volunteer to give back, that all the men and women have done there on USS SLATER to keep it the way it is. So I do want to say to everyone that volunteers down here, thank you so much, because this is the last destroyer in U.S. history. And if you think about it, this destroyer was in service for over 40 years. 40 years this destroyer was in action. Then it went to Greece, I believe, and then we got it back. And if you see the pictures of what this U.S. looked like when we got it back from Greece, you'd be surprised to see the work the men and women put into this destroyer to keep its memory. I also think of my grandfather that served on the LC-880 during World War II, and he had the blessing to be on the Missouri at the end of the war when the Japanese surrendered. So I do want to say to everyone here, thank you for what you do, thank you for keeping this memory alive. And how do we not commit the mistakes we made in the past? We got to remember what happened in the past, the good and the bad, to go into the future. But also, I do want to say again to everyone that's involved here, from the scouts to the volunteers, again, thank you, because without your help, your backbone of all this, this wouldn't be possible. So I do want to leave a note saying this is a great day, and we got to get the word out, because this is not just a treasure here in Albany County, but in the whole Capital District in the state of New York, to have this right at the end of our city lines to showcase the history and the proud men and women that made this happen. So thank you.
Thank you, Dan. John McDonald, an assemblyman from Cohoes and now Albany and a number of other places, and one of our best friends, is here to deliver some remarks. Thank you, John.
Thank you, BJ. Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here with our county executive and David from the mayor's office, but more importantly, the team and supporters here at the USS SLATER. You know, on my way down this morning, I was talking to my dad, 91 years young, who served in the Korean War. He actually served on the USS Destroyer Escort, which I guess had a little bit of an unfaithful fate, because I guess they ended up sinking their own ship, but that's a different day. But we talked about the importance of the DEs. And we talked about the fact that it's all part of a team. It's interesting, I was just listening to the Racing City Quartet. Each person has a role to make it all come together and to make that beautiful music. And guys, thank you for being here today. And that is actually, it was symbolic, because they actually went through the usual song of recognizing all parts of our armed forces. The county executive will tell you, of course, that the Army played the most critical role ever, because he serves with distinction. However, in quiet moments, he's actually admitted that it's important that the armed forces work together. And that's how it was with the DE and the destroyers. It's all part of a process. Everyone has a role to play, and everyone needs to be united in playing that role for a successful outcome. Maybe it's a message that we need to repeat across this country every once in a while as well. And let us take this time today, thanks to the leadership of the folks here at the SLATER, to one, remember those individuals who in the course of their duty lost their lives. But let us also take this opportunity to remind us that we live in the greatest country in the world as long as we remain united. Thank you.
Thank you, John. And representing Mayor Sheehan today is our Chief of Staff, David Galden.
Thank you, BJ. Good morning, everyone. My name is David Gallo, and I'm Mayor Sheehan's Chief of Staff. Mayor Sheehan very much regrets that she's unable to join us today. She's traveling, but she always enjoys being here and is honored to be here every year with you on this very, very important day. As the grandson of an Army and a Navy veteran, and then a son of an Army veteran, it's really an honor to join all of you. Again, this being the last destroyer in the United States, I think we all forget that this is one of the most visited historic sites, not only in the city of Albany and Albany County, but as the county executive said, in the region and in the state. And we really owe it to furthering the legacy of those who sacrificed their lives in defense of our nation, to ensure that when people come here and learn about those sacrifices, that they're welcome with a beautiful space. And Mayor Sheehan's really proud to be part of a leadership team alongside the city treasurer, our common council leadership, and members of the administration to have awarded a $500,000 grant to the SLATER to help improve not only the visitor center, but the public restrooms, and also to create classroom space so that when people come here, they can learn about the legacy that's been left, the impact that's been made, and really have a lasting memory as they carry forward, not only in our state, but in our nation and across the world. So thank you so much for inviting me here today, and thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you very much. We will now move to the memorial tribute section of our program, which is really the heart of our program, and I call on Steve Long for that.
These are the DEs lost in World War II. The USS Leopold was sunk by a German U-boat in the North Atlantic, killing 171 on March 9, 1944. The USS Holder was struck by 2 enemy torpedoes off the coast of Algeria, killing 16 on April 11, 1944. She was damaged beyond repair. USS Donald was damaged by beyond repair after a hit by U-boat torpedo, killing 29 men on May 3, 1944. USS FECHTELER was hit and sunk by a German torpedo in Algeria, killing 29 on May 5, 1944. USS Rich was sunk after detonating 3 underwater mines near St. Marcouf Islands, France, killing 27 on June 8, 1944. USS Fisk was torpedoed by a German U-boat north of the Azores in the North Atlantic, killing 33 on August 2, 1944. USS Shelton was sunk by a Japanese submarine off Morotai, Indonesia, killing 13 on October 13, 1944. USS Samuel B. Roberts was sunk by Japanese ships during the Battle of Samar, losing 90 men on October 25, 1944. The USS Eversole was struck by 2 Japanese torpedoes, killing 76 during the Battle of Leyte Gulf on October 28, 1944. The USS Frederick C. Davis was struck by German torpedoes during Operation Teardrop, losing 115 men in the North Atlantic on April 24, 1945. USS Oberender was bombed by Japanese aircraft off Okinawa, killing 8 on May 9, 1944. She was damaged beyond repair. USS Bates was hit by 3 Japanese aircraft, killing 21 men near Okinawa on May 25, 1944. USS Underhill struck a manned Japanese torpedo, killing 112 near the East China Sea on July 24, 1945. USS Roach was damaged beyond repair when she struck a floating mine near Tokyo Bay, killing 3 on September 29, 1945. USS Solar suffered an accidental explosion at a naval ammunition depot in central New Jersey, killing 7 on April 30th, 1945. In addition to remembering the ships and sailors that were lost, we want to remember the following volunteers who crossed the bar this past year and are no longer with us. Joseph Defoe served on the USS Douglas Monroe and was part of the USS Hughes volunteer group. Walter Brinksled served on the USS Purdy, also part of the USS Hughes group, and was a volunteer here. Jeffrey Robbins, his father served on the USS Hughes and was a USS Hughes group volunteer. Jim Ray served on the USS Douglas A. Monroe, a Michigan chapter volunteer. Frank Heckert, USS LaRae Wilson, USS Hughes group volunteer. And Rear Admiral Martin W. Lukart, United States Naval retired, served on the USS Daniel A. Joy, DE 585, a longtime local volunteer and benefactor who organized our annual Masonic for chaplain's ceremony. Fair winds and following seas to all of them.
Thank you, Steve. Let us remember that we're in the presence of God. The sailor's prayer is Psalm 23. The Lord is my pilot. I shall not drift. He lights me across the dark waters. He steers me in the deep channels. He keeps my log. He guides me by the star of holiness for his name's sake. Yea, though I sail mid the thunders and tempests of life, I shall fear no danger, for you are with me. Your love and your care, they shelter me. You prepare a harbor before me in the homeland of eternity. You anoint the waves with oil, my ship rides calmly. Surely sunlight and starlight shall favor me on the voyage. I take, and at the end of my voyaging, I will rest in the port of my God forever. Amen. Retire the colors. Again, thank you to the Boy Scouts, to our proud group from Saratoga Springs, the Pitch Hitters Quartet, to all of you who came today, to all of you who volunteered to make this ship the most beautiful restored ship in the world. And keep in mind, this is our 25th anniversary. We will have a celebration in October 20th. To celebrate our time here. You'll get an invitation to that, and have a great Navy Day. Thank you very much.